Good evening. Welcome again in my class. Today, Indian Economy Chapter 3. Chapter 3 Indian Economy. Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is Economic Reforms since 1991. Till now we had learned last two chapters. Chapter 1 Indian Economy since independence. Then after 1950 to 1990. Now after 1991. The third chapter. Okay. Now why especially 1991? 1991 is a very turning year of Indian economy. Okay. Why turning year? Because from this 1991 we adopt new economic policy. Okay. We adopt new economic policy in 1991. Okay. Now why it is required so? Why it is required that we should adopt a new economic policy? What was the problem with our earlier policies? Okay, there was huge problem with our earlier economic policies, that is before 1990, and there was huge crisis Indian economy faced in between this year, in the beginning of 1990, 1991, like that. What were the main problems that time? There was very poor performance. Very poor performance of public sector of India. Public sector means government sector. Except one or two, almost all the public sector enterprises were facing huge losses. Okay, we learned in earlier chapter, most of the economic sector was controlled by the government earlier there. And most of the economic sector since controlled by the government, and it was not facing huge profit. Most of the cases, India government facing loss. Because of why? Till now it is going on, the public sector are not facing good profit. Because of why? In public sector, one interesting thing is there, in public sector there is no penalty, no remuneration. Okay, whether you work or not work, there will be no extra benefit, no extra punishment. So people are not so interested. So day by day, this thing going on, and public sector becoming very poor and sick industrial sector. Okay, this was the main reason. Number 2, huge deficit. Huge deficit in balance of payment. Balance of payment, BOP. One important thing, in this chapter you will get few extra term. You will not get properly the meaning. You will get it in macro chapter 3 and 4. Few terms are there. You will get it in details in macro chapter 3 and chapter 4 and chapter 5. BOP is chapter 5 in macro. Balance of payment. Balance of payment means the difference between inflow and outflow of foreign exchange. Difference between inflow and outflow. How much economic benefit we are getting, that is inflow, and how much economic benefit we are paying to the other countries, rest of the world, it is outflow. In short, we can write the difference between export and import. Actually, it is not true. A lot of things are there along with export and import. So difference between inflow and outflow is balance of payment. And that time there was huge deficit. Why deficit? Because that time our outflow was more, inflow was less. So what happened? We have to pay more money to the foreign countries. Our income level reduces. Okay, we know if the BOP is favorable, that is, if there is no deficit in BOP, this is good for the economy. But that time there was huge deficit because our import was more, our export was less. Second reason. Third reason, inflation. There was huge inflation in the country, okay, during the period before 1991. Inflation means when our aggregate demand level becomes more than our aggregate supply level. Okay, then there occurs inflation. Inflation also you will get macro chapter 3. Details are there. Okay, now just understand the difference between aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Aggregate demand means total demand of the country. Aggregate supply means total supply of the country. Now if total demand becomes more than total supply, then what happens? It indicates there is more money supply in the country. Money supply is more, but compared to that, our production is less. Okay, compared to increasing the money supply, production is less, so there is more demand. Compared to that, supply is less. So what happened? There is prices. Those who are the rich people, they will purchase all the commodities by paying more money. So poor people, they cannot purchase. So inflationary rate was very high during this period. Then after, number 4, fall in foreign exchange reserve. Foreign exchange reserve. Foreign exchange reserve means same thing, huge deficit in BOP. Foreign exchange reserve increase when our export will be more than our import. We told in second point, our export was less than import. So you have to pay more foreign exchange to the other countries, and we cannot increase our inflow of foreign exchange. So there is huge fall in the foreign exchange reserve. If having less foreign exchange reserve, then what happened? We cannot pay our debt to the other countries. So this is loss for the economy. Number 5, there was huge burden of debt. Huge burden of debt. Okay, why for? Because government expenditure was more and government revenue was less. So government has to borrow. Government always face the deficit budget. Government income is less, expenditure is more. So what happened? Government always has to borrow from other countries or from Reserve Bank or from some other sources. So what happened? There was huge burden of debt. So due to these reasons, Indian economy was facing huge problem, and it was very tough for the government to run the economy properly or smoothly, because for all these reasons the level of production of the country reduced, level of employment of the country reduced, level of income of the country also reduced. So what happened? The economy was facing huge crisis. Okay, to overcome the crisis, what the government has to do? There was no option for the government unless government take loan from World Bank or other international monetary agencies. Okay, and the pioneer of this system was, let me erase it. The pioneer of this system was Dr. Manmohan Singh. Later he became Prime Minister of India. That time in the year 1991 he was Finance Minister of India, and he was appointed by that time the Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, and he chalked out all the system, new economic policy, and he is the pioneer of the new economic policy. Okay, he is not at all a politician. He is actually an economist. He was a lecturer in Guwahati University, and from him he was hired to look after the matter so that India can overcome the crisis. So what he had done, or the body had done, that time India government has no other option unless take huge loan from the International Monetary Fund, and for that India government take around $7 billion from World Bank, or that is IMF, International Monetary Fund. India borrow huge loan. Okay, India has no other option. Okay, you know, beggars have no choice. So India also have no choice. India have to take loan from the World Bank. But why the World Bank will give loan to India without any condition, without any target? So they imposed lot of targets to India, conditions to India, being before borrowing the money. So when India government borrow the money, $7 billion, that time they set lot of targets, lot of conditions that you have to fulfill the condition, otherwise you will not get the loan. What was the condition? 3 conditions they set up. First condition was removing restrictions on public sector. Restriction on public sector, first condition. Second condition, reducing the government role in many areas. And number 3, removing trade restrictions. Trade restrictions. Trade restrictions. These are the 3 main conditions. Removing restrictions on public sector. We know earlier most of the economic sector was controlled by the government. Reducing the government role in many areas. Government should not participate or government should not interfere in many areas. And removing trade restrictions. Earlier, before 1991, there was huge trade restrictions. Import, export was highly restricted. No one can import, no one can export without government licensing or government permission. Other developed country also cannot participate in India in economic activities. So there was huge restrictions. The IMF imposed these 3 conditions, that unless you can overcome the situation, we cannot give you loans. And these are the 3 restrictions. What are these three restrictions in short? In short, removing restriction on public sector indicates privatization. Sorry, liberalization. Liberalization. Government has to liberalize its conditions, the situation. Reducing the government role means privatization. Government has to privatize most of the sector. Third one is removing trade restriction. Trade means the whole world is related with the trade. International trade means globalization. These are the 3 conditions, LPG: liberalization, privatization, globalization. These 3 conditions, the government has to follow, unless they will not get the loan from the IMF. So before getting the loan of $7 billion, the government has to follow these 3 conditions. Government has to remove all the restrictions from government sector, from public sector, from trade sector. So these 3 are the liberalization, privatization and globalization. Okay. Now these 3 in short is called new economic policy. New economic policy. NEP. New economic policy. Okay. So this was the condition for new economic policy. Why government adopt the new economic policy? Because to overcome the economic crisis which was faced in the beginning of the 1990. So to overcome the situation, government has to take loan from IMF on the condition that government will liberalize, privatize and globalize its economy. Okay. Now what was the objective? Objectives of new economic policy. Objectives of new economic policy. You better write it in your copy, then you can easily got the point when you study. Okay. 2 objectives are there. One is short run, one is long run objectives. Short run objective and long run. 2 objectives are there. Short run objectives indicates stabilizing measures. This is called stabilizing measures. Short-term objectives. And long-term objectives are called structural reforms. Structural reforms means the whole economic structure will be changed. In short-term objectives, 2 main targets was there. First one is correcting weakness of balance of payment. What were the weakness of balance of payment? Our export was less, import was more, to correct the situation. Second objective was controlling inflation. Controlling inflation. This is the second target. So these are the two objectives: correcting the weakness of balance of payment, whatever the balance of payment situation, it should be corrected, or controlling the inflation. Earlier there was huge inflationary situation, government has to control it. This is short term target. In between 1 year or 2 years, government has to correct it. But long term is very important. Two long term objectives was there. One is improving efficiency. Efficiency of economic system. Earlier economic system was not so efficient. It was not compatible with the other countries. So this was the target. Within a long period of time, the economic system should be efficient. Second one is increasing international competitiveness. International competitiveness. Okay. Earlier there was no trade relation with other countries. So our internal sector was so poor. Unless we cannot compete with the other countries, how we can increase our efficiency? So another important objectives was increasing the international competitiveness. So these are the main objectives behind the new economic policy, so that our whole economic system can be developed, can be efficient compared to the other countries. Okay, this was the objectives of new economic policy. Okay, now one by one let us start. First one was liberalization. Liberalization you also learnt in earlier classes in very short. In details you have now in this class. Liberalization. Liberalize means to make free economy. Okay, means deregulate and deregulation, right? Deregulation and production of reduction of government control. Okay, earlier everything was controlled by government. In liberalization, main target is deregulate. Whatever was regulated by the government earlier, now it should be deregulate, and reduction of the government control. Earlier everything was controlled by the government, now it should be control should be reduced. Okay, this was the main meaning of liberalization. Okay, actually there was 5 steps. The liberalization process was made in 5 steps. First one is industrial sector, financial sector, then tax sector, foreign exchange sector, and trade sector. These were the 5 sectors. Based on that, the whole liberalization process was done in the year 1991. Okay, what are the sectors? Let us start step by step. First one is industrial sector. Industrial sector reforms. Okay, industrial sector reform means what are the changes made in the industrial sector. Okay, before 1991, what do you know? All the industries were controlled by the government. Very few private sector industries were there, except Tata and some other very few. Most of the industrial sector, heavy industries, small scale industries, most of the industries were controlled by the government. But in liberalization process, the industrial sector was reformed. How it is reformed? First one is licensing. Licensing policy was liberalized. Licensing policy means IPR 1956. We learned in last class. IPR 1956. Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. What was the resolution? It was in this resolution, all the private industrial sector was fully controlled by government. Okay, if any private sector industries want to start their business, they have to take license from the government after proper scrutiny. Not like that somebody apply for the license, government will give it. Whatever is doing now. That time it was fully restricted. No private sector industry can be started without government licensing. Not only that, if a running private sector industry want to expand, then also they have to take license from the government. Okay, so there was huge restriction in licensing. But in new economic policy, the licensing policy almost abolished, except few industries. Few industries means medicine, nuclear, war weapons, like that, industrial explosive, like that 2-3 industries were left. Remaining all the cases, licensing policies was almost abolished. Okay, few important sectors were skipped licensing because these things are related with the public health and other things. So government license is required to start the business of these 3 cases. Okay, so license policies was liberalized. Second one, reduce in the role of public sector from 17 to only 3 industries. Earlier, the whole public sector was divided into 17 parts. Now, out of the 17 industries, government kept only 3 industries, and remaining all are left with the private sector. What are the 3 industries? One is railways, atomic energy, and defense. These were the 3 important sectors which is kept with the government hand, and remaining all are given to the private sector. Okay, these are the main 2 policy adopted in the industrial sector reforms. Okay, licensing policies was abolished because earlier all the sector were required license for private sector. Now only few industries were kept in under licensing process, remaining all made free. Now anyone can set industry anywhere in India without prior permission from the government. Anyone can expand their unit without prior permission from the government. Here only intimation is required that I am doing this one, government should be knowing. So medicine, nuclear and explosive, except like these few industries, remaining all are license free. Government sector reduced from 17 to only 3 important industries. These were railways, atomic energy and defense. Till now these 3 industries are with the hand of government. Remaining all are given to the private sector. So industrial sector reforms based on these 2. Now second one, financial sector reforms. Financial sector reforms. Okay, in financial sector, the most means almost all the financial sector was controlled by whom? Reserve Bank of India again. The financial sector of India controlled by the Reserve Bank of India. But in new economic policy, the role of the Reserve Bank was changed from controller to regulator. Controller to regulator. Earlier, it was controlled by all the banking sector was controlled by the Reserve Bank. Now, Reserve Bank is not become controller. Now, they are regulator. Regulator means Reserve Bank now help the other financial sector to spread their branches in India, to spread their business in India. So, the whole change in the activities of Reserve Bank. Earlier, it was controlled. Everything was controlled by the Reserve Bank. No private bank was there in India. After new economic policy, lot of private bank open in India, and lot of foreign banks also open their branches in India. So this was financial sector reform. Then number 1, increase in foreign direct investment. Okay, earlier there was very limited foreign direct investment in India, almost negligible. Okay, but new economic policy, the condition of IMF was that you have to allow the foreign investors to India. Foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment means where maximum share was purchased by the foreign investor. That is 51% of share, equity share is owned by the foreigners. So foreign direct investment. It was by this what happened? Investment level in India increased. Earlier, all the investment was made by government or some private sector in India. Now, the doors are open. Foreigners also can enter in the country and they can invest 50% of share in any kinds of business activities or any kinds of financial activities. Okay. So, these are the financial sector reforms. Third one is tax reforms. Tax. Tax reforms means the general public has to pay tax to the government, either directly or indirectly. Direct tax or indirect tax. Two types of taxes are the direct and indirect. Earlier, most of the taxes were direct tax, and rate of the direct tax was so high. Okay, direct tax means income tax is a direct tax. When I earn, I have to pay tax. Earlier, before 1991, income tax was or direct taxes was high. So what happened? People always try to go through tax evasion. Tax evasion means the tendency of not paying tax. So government faces loss because people become very much what is called tax evasion system was very much prominent in India because people are not ready to pay tax. So tax evasion was there. By this what happened? Government faced huge loss in collection of tax. So what government do in this system? In new economic policy, the direct tax rate was reduced and the paying of tax system become so easy. Earlier paying of tax is very tough, the long process. Now in new economic policy, the tax paying process becomes simple. So what happened? People can easily pay their tax. Now we can pay our tax from our mobile also. Okay, and the quantity, the rate of direct tax reduced. So people are not going through the tax evasion. People are ready to pay tax. So what happened? Indirectly or directly, the government is getting more of tax. Earlier tax rate was high. People was not paying tax. Now taxes is low. Almost all the people are paying direct taxes. So due to simple system of tax and due to reduction of tax rate. Okay. Number 2, indirect tax. Earlier indirect tax was low. Collection of indirect tax was low. Now government tries to increase the collection of indirect tax. By what? By in 2017, July 2017, India government adopt the one country, one tax, one good, one tax, GST, goods and services tax. By this what happened? By this, one nation, one tax, one market. Okay. One market, one country, and one tax. Earlier, lot of breakups are there in paying indirect taxes. Now there is no breakings. Directly, the government is getting the tax. So through GST. By this what happened? The collection of tax increased. Earlier it was not possible. Government main income source is what? Collection of tax. Tax is the main income source of government. Earlier income source was less, so how government can spend more money? Now income source is more. By increasing the indirect taxes, by increasing the quantity of collection of indirect tax through GST and other taxes, and by increasing the collection of direct tax through reducing the tax rate and simplification of the collection process. So tax reforms, these are the third one. Fourth one is foreign exchange reform. Foreign exchange. This is very important. Foreign exchange reform. Foreign exchange come from where? From export and import. Okay. Export and import means balance of payment. Earlier, our currency rate, exchange rate, was high. Exchange rate means the rate at which currency of a country is exchanged with another countries. Okay. Due to more exchange rate, our export was less, import was more. Okay. Now in new economic policy, what government done? Government make devaluation. Devaluation of domestic currency means our currency. You will get details of this topic in chapter 5 macro, last chapter of macro. Devaluation of domestic currency means when government intentionally reduce the exchange rate to increase the export and reduce the export import. It is called devaluation of domestic currency. Okay. For example, suppose earlier exchange rate was rupees 50 per dollar. Now it become rupees 60 per dollar. This is devaluation. Our exchange value is reduced. How reduced? It looks increased but not increased. Think on the basis of the other countries. Earlier, the foreigners, by paying $1, they get commodities of 50 rupees of India. Now what happened? By paying same dollar, they are getting commodities of 60 rupees of India. So what will happen? They will import more from us. They will purchase more from us. Means what? Our import will increase. On the other hand, earlier by paying 50 rupees, you have to pay 60 rupees for getting same commodity. So what happened? Foreign currency become costlier. So foreign commodity also will become costlier. So our export, our import will fall and our export will rise. Okay, export rise because foreigners will purchase more from us because they have to pay less money now to purchase same commodity, and our import will fall because we have to pay more money now to purchase foreign commodities. So by this what happened? Our foreign exchange reserve increased. Okay, this was another target in new economic policy, how to increase the foreign exchange, because in the beginning of 1990 the foreign exchange reserve with the government of India so less that government can repay even a single amount of loan. Whatever loan taken earlier from other countries, government was not unable to pay loan for more than 1 month. So within a very short period, government has to increase the foreign exchange reserve, and this was the only one policy to devalue the Indian currency. Okay, by this our foreign exchange reserve increased. Next, fifth one, trade reforms. Trade reforms. Trade reform means change the trade policies in India. Earlier the trade policy was so complicated, but in new economic policy it becomes liberalized. How? Quantitative restrictions was abolished. Quantitative restriction means earlier there was huge restrictions on quantity of export, quantity of import. Now there is no restrictions. Even private sector also can easily import their commodities, required commodities, and easily export their commodities. No quantitative restriction. Quantitative restriction you will get in 5th chapter, same way in macro. Quantitative restriction means, suppose earlier there was restriction for private sector that only 100 unit you can import from other countries. But suppose they require 200 quantities, so this was not possible. Now there is no restrictions. Anyone can import and export any quantity with the other countries. So quantitative restriction removed. Removal of export duties. Duties means tax. Earlier there was huge tax. When a private sector used to want to export to other countries, they have to pay more tax. So what happened? Foreigners become less interested because Indian commodity becomes costlier to them. But India government do what? In 1991 new economic policy, government removed the export duties. No export duties are there. So what happened? Foreigners can easily purchase from India because Indian commodity becomes cheaper. So they purchase more good from India. Means what? Our export increased. So this is another trade reforms. Hard one. Relaxation in import licensing. Import licensing. Earlier, licenses are very much required for import purpose. Those private sector companies who are related with import, they require license. Now it become liberalized. Now license is required, but not so important. Okay. Earlier, due to license, lot of commodities cannot be imported in India because we know what, it is not possible for any country to produce all the commodities. So what we require to purchase from other countries, or we may produce in our country but expenditure is more. That time what happened? We have to import from other countries. Then it will be safe for us, save money for us. Okay. Suppose earlier, before 1991, the price of a color television, it was around 15 to 20,000. Because the picture tube what is required for making color television, it was import from other countries. Due to heavy import restrictions and heavy import duties, its cost is so high. So Indian producer cannot produce TV less price. Okay, and not only that, we cannot purchase from other countries. Now what happened? By paying 5,000 also, you can purchase a color television. Okay. Now in between 30 years, the price should be increased, but price decreased. This is why for this is due to the reduction of import licensing and less reduction of import duties. Import duties also reduced. So except few cases, most of the cases there was relaxation in licensing and import duties. So what happened? Lot of multinational companies are sending their product to India, so we can get easily lot of electronic goods and other commodities at cheaper rate. It is safe for us, we can save our money. Okay, and Indian industry also develop because they can import their technology and other raw material what is required for them. Okay, so by this 5 process, the liberalization system was established, was done in India. Okay, these are the 5 systems. So that's all today for the first part. Second part, in the second day we will learn privatization, globalization, and what are the impacts of reforms in India. Okay, till then you study question textbook and reference book, whatever you have. Likely I will give the question answers. Okay, see you. Take care.